Hi, welcome back. I wanted to quickly sit down with everyone. I've got my tea and I just want to give some good old big sister advice, except if your big sister was lesbian, hello, about how to actually build a healthy relationship. And I wanted to talk on specific practical tips, mostly from my own experience. And I think the dating scene right now is so intimidating, especially if you're new to the queer scene. It kind of feels like, oh my God, there's all these rules and oh, there's these red flags. Let's TikTok diagnose everybody. And it's intimidating and it doesn't have to be. And I kind of wanted to take instead a more positive, practical approach with tips from mostly my own personal life that I wish somebody would have told me. And I'm really excited to share that this video is sponsored by Hinge. So thank you, Hinge, for supporting my channel. They sent me their 2026 LGBTQ date report, which talks about the dating world specifically for LGBTQ people. The takeaways from their report really resonated with my own personal experience. And Hinge invited me to dig into it, so let's do it. The first, but one of the most important tips I have is to move slowly, but with intention. You've heard stereotypes about U-Haul lesbians. Oh my God, let's move in together on the first month. Like, this is crazy. We're moving fast. It feels like a thrill. I think if you're really trying to build something healthy, when you do that rushed timeline, there's no benefit. It can feel like a high in the short term, but if your relationship is meant to last or not meant to last, the rushing it doesn't make it more likely to last or less likely to last. If anything, I think it just makes it less fun because you get through key milestones super quickly instead of getting to savor all of them. I know with my partner, one of the things that we did is we had a conversation early up front about what our dating intentions are. Within the first handful of dates with my girlfriend, I asked the question like pretty point blank with, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a long-term relationship? And that conversation is really scary to bring up. But for me, I really felt like bringing it up that early was nice because it was before a lot of pressure built up. If we would have been like 2 months into like going out on dates and then I'm like, so where is this headed? That would have felt like a lot of pressure because then you've already put so much literal time into it. But up front, you can be more frank because you don't know what they're going to say. And when we spent time together, like the weeks and months after that, I wasn't feeling like, oh, okay, I'm not sure if she wants a relationship, but I'll try to convince her by like having this time together and then she'll like want to, and then I'll bring up like, should we be in a relationship? Like, no, we had more intentional conversations up front and then just let the subsequent dates be more fun and especially like at the beginning, lighthearted. One of the things that the Hinge date report found that I thought was interesting was it said some of the top priorities from LGBTQ daters. And it surprised me in a good way because what I would think would be people's top priorities if you just polled a random population of gay people would be like, okay, what is your life goals? Oh, what's your family situation? What's your job? What's the timeline and what you're looking for? No, girl, not even in the top few. The number one thing with 84% of daters saying that they wanted this was knowing someone's values. The second was comfort with the other person, like I feel comfortable with them. And the third most important was knowing someone's intentions. 77% of people said that that was important. Sometimes we get really in our head about timeline. When are we putting the label on it? When are you going to be my girlfriend? Is this timeline normal? Is this timeline not normal? But really, when people are actually polled, they're ranking knowing someone's values, intentions, and being comfortable around you as higher than those other things. My second tip is let uncertainty be normal, not a warning sign. There is uncertainty at the beginning of any new relationship, especially with dating. Like you're going out to meet someone on a first date. Hello, like that is so, girl, how did that go? Where are we? What are we doing? Like, are you going to text me when I get home? Like, I don't know. And it just feels like people are very anxious to like take some minor interaction or some sign and like draw so much meaning from it, as in specifically, what does this mean for my future with this person? And I feel like maybe you guys can relate to this, but I feel so logical, and especially in other parts of my life, I try to will things into happening, like fitness, cooking, like job, career, whatever. It's like, I want it, I'm gonna go and get it. But with relationships and people, it doesn't work like that, especially when a lot of the variables in dating are out of your control, and that is normal. And when I think back on like my dating experiences, there was so much time that was spent like trying to go in a circle and rationalize this, psychoanalyze that. All of that worrying into a spiral didn't really progress the relationship further. And actually, it was going to unfold the way it was going to unfold, regardless of how much I worried and into it not, pretty much. And the Hinge study backed this up in a way. It was saying 74% of LGBTQ daters say uncertainty actually helped them get clearer on what they wanted, not more anxious. And I think reframing uncertainty instead of it being like this is good or bad, it's just normal. I think that's a peaceful thought to remember. And if you spend a lot of time in the closet, I feel like a lot of gay people like had that a period of time where they were really yearning for a relationship. It's in many ways healing for us, or it has been for me, to have a nice relationship and be like, yes, like this is possible for me, like we can do it. And I feel like sometimes when we yearn so much for the relationship, it plays out in the sense that in early dating phases, you want to know all the answers before you can know all the answers. And so instead of needing to force everything to fit a certain shape on a certain timeline, let things unfold on their own. The only way I've learned this myself is by working every little uncertainty I had into the ground just to realize I was right back where I started, which was, I don't really know. We're just going to have to see how this goes over time. Okay. Oh, okay. So I didn't have to go through this like 10-day journaling cycle. It's just, we're just going to have to see how it goes over the time. Yes. Then they can be themselves without you like putting judgment on every little thing you learn about them. And also, the real truth is, you know, with gay people, half the time you go on a date with somebody, if not sparks fly, you end up being best friends with them. That's the thing. It's always like, I'm not going to force this to be a certain way because you actually are my best friend now. Like, what do you mean we're lovers? We're friends. That kind of leads me into tip number 3, which is that you don't need to over-fantasize the outcome. It's fun. You got your playlist on and you're picturing like, oh my God, me and Bae are like on vacation in Fiji. The Instagram story is going to look like this. Everyone's going to think we're so cute. Like, oh my God, like we're going to live together and our home decor is going to be fire. Like, slow down. Reel it in. I really have felt like when I've tried to script out a relationship, this is back to overthinking core. Where are my overthinkers? Raise your hand. Here we go. When I in the past have like overly fantasized about like how this is going to work out and I'm like scripting it all in my head, I end up being more in my head than in the present moment, which is sad because the present moment, especially when you're dating someone and it's new, that's like a very special time. Early phases of dating are a very vulnerable, special thing that you want to remember and you want to be present for instead of like future projecting so hard to the point where you're not actually present and being able to enjoy. I'm not saying, oh, you should be with someone that's like fun to hang out with, but like has no intention of actually like ever dating you. I'm not saying that. I'm saying set your intentions early and upfront. And then get to know the person for who they really are in the present moment and enjoy it and let it unfold on its own. 4, check in honestly and not constantly. Consistently, not constantly. This is a new-ish one for me. Me and my girlfriend, we definitely have check-in conversations. And that conversation is specifically about like how things are going, what's gone well. That opens the floor for like a transparency moment or like a vulnerable share or like I've been going through this. And I love that it really directs your attention specifically to how the couple is doing. It's so easy to do day-to-day catch-ups about like work was like this, it was like that, this is going on with other people. We're like filling our schedule with things separately and together, but I love the intentional check-in. And when it's something that you're already used to doing, then it doesn't feel like every single check-in has to be like a big deal. A lot of the times it's not. I mean, since it's regular, just your partner saying to you, like, let's have a check-in conversation, it doesn't spike your cortisol to hell and back because you have check-in conversations regularly. And I think it's really gone a long way just to kind of help with anxiety on my part in a few directions. One being knowing that there's gonna be a check-in conversation helps from having to turn every little thing into like let's resolve this immediately ASAP until like I feel resolved. It can have a place and time. Like it doesn't have to get swept under forever and there won't be a moment unless I like have the balls to do it. Like there's a check-in conversation, right? And it also keeps you from like having to have constant nonstop reassurance like, oh, we have to text all day or I don't feel right. And that also keeps you from having to like infer how someone you're dating like feels about you or about where it's going. No, you can directly ask, how are things going? Tell me, girl. I'm about to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, fix my lighting. Okay. I feel like it's become so normal to text and be in touch all day, every day, because we always have our phones on us and we're always on them. But really, like the endless texting doesn't always lead to deeper connection and deeper trust. But what I felt like really took it to the next level for me was honest, consistent check-ins. Next tip, let small, consistent gestures do the talking a lot of the times. I feel like, especially as women, if you're a lesbian like myself, we really talk things to death. And I think there needs to be talking and a balance of gestures consistently over time to build trust. And when I say gestures, I'm not like saying grand gestures like, she bought me 1,000 roses. Like, no. We can keep it cute, keep it small, keep it like the daily consistency is so much more of a tell for long-term success. For me, way more than a sporadic random gesture or like big display of affection. The Hinge report had this term called PDC, okay? You've heard of PDA, public display of affection? PDC is private display of consistency. PDC is that repeated behind the scenes consistent action to build trust. This is stuff like remembering a detail someone told you and checking in with them about it later. This is like randomly small surprises for people, doing a small favor when something is stressing your partner out. It could be cooking for someone after a stressful work day. It could be picking someone up at the airport. That is the kind of stuff that builds your day-to-day interactions. And it's not flashy. You're not going to be posting about it on your Instagram story, but it's what makes you as a partner and you together as a couple feel so much more secure. Next tip, do new things together. Dating is supposed to be fun. I'm a quality time girl. Where are my quality time girls at? Girl, we can have words of affirmation. If you can't tell from this video, I'm like, words of affirmation, yeah, that's cute and all. Quality time is the thing for me. Doing new things together is like the more novel experiences we have together, the more I like you. Like, I'm sorry, one of the things I did with my girlfriend is I don't even know how this began. I think early when we first met, we were joking about it and then it became real, which is we have a shared notes app that's like our bucket list. And I'm not kidding. You scroll through it, there's like 50 plus things on there. And we've done like 40 of them. And we add to it all the time. And when we like have a free day together, like it's a free Saturday, sometimes we're like, let's bucket list something. That's how we ended up going to the aquarium last week. Why am I at the aquarium? Like, when are you ever like, today is like a really great week to go to the aquarium? No, that was a completely novel situation. Neither of us had been there before. It's completely unlike our week to week routine. And when we went together, it just adds a really memorable memory to the memory bank. And that's one of the things that's so fun about, especially early dating, is that when you hang out, it's not always like, girl, come to the house, let's Netflix and chill. No, it's like you're going on dates. I hope. You're going on dates, you're planning dates, like you're spending intentional time together. It could be the aquarium. It could be a baseball game. It could be the new restaurant in town. It could be early morning coffee. It could be a sunrise surfing session. Sorry, we live in San Diego, so it's like, it's on the table for us. I'm just kidding. I like my San Diego bias is showing. But I think in early dating, and for me personally, I love to really make the intentional effort to keep this going throughout the relationship when you are officially official. And that kind of really ties in with the PDC concept from the Hinge report of private displays of connection. That is our private display of connection. I don't think a lot of people nobody really knows that we have this bucket list, and we don't tell everyone every little bucket list item we do. But girl, between us, we have like 40 plus unique, fun, cool memories together. That's so cute. And then tip 7, make sure y'all hear me on this. Keep your routine. This is how you don't get completely swept away in dating someone new, is you keep your routine. What I mean by that is if you go to the gym every Monday, Tuesday, Friday, okay, when you meet someone new and you're all excited about them and you're like, I want to be in your skin and like move in together and spend every second together, please, if you do anything, please keep your Monday, Tuesday, Friday gym routine. This is a way that, number one, keeps you on whatever your goals were before you met them. Like, I feel like if you had a fitness goal and that was your long-term plan, that doesn't go out the window when you meet someone new. And a lot of times it's not consciously like, I'm throwing out my fitness plan because I met someone new, but it ends up affecting your schedule because you're putting a new person into it. And even if you have to move things around, try to keep the core of your consistent weekly routines together. That provides like a lot of baseline stability for you. And I think as a partner, if I'm dating someone and they don't throw away their whole life for me, that's really attractive. I love that. You shouldn't be able to scrap your whole routine. You should be on it with hanging out with your friends. I think it's just a really positive sign of maturity and security when someone doesn't switch up and ditch their routine for a new relationship. Like, it doesn't make me feel good if someone is like, hey, I got absolutely nothing to do this week. I can move in with you, stranger that I just met. Like, girl, what about your whole life? With my girlfriend, when we first met, it was around like the end of the year. So it was like fall, getting into Thanksgiving, Christmas time, which means there's a lot of travel. And I was traveling, she was traveling. There was weeks where we were both out of town during different weeks. And do you think I canceled any of those plans I had for her? Do you think she canceled any of her plans for me? No. Because kind of like what I've been getting at this whole time, if it's meant to be, then it's going to be. And keeping the plans you had makes you more attractive. And it also naturally adds a buffer to the pacing. And I think the key was nobody panicked. Nobody was like, this is do or die right now. Like, everything's going to fall apart. No, eventually, like, that busy holiday season ends and then you have more time together. And it totally worked out completely fine. Oh, how are we feeling? That's my tips. And just to close, my whole point with all of this isn't, oh, just go with the flow. Let people do whatever. No. Be very intentional and relax and enjoy it. And instead of worrying about forcing all those outcomes, relax back into the controllables, which is the private displays of consistency like we talked about, routine check-ins, doing new things together, having clear intentions up front, and just relaxing and enjoying the present moment of the relationship. This is fun. I miss my girlfriend. By the way, I met my girlfriend on Hinge. Hinge success story right here. Don't give up. If you want to learn more, check out the 2026 LGBTQ Hinge date report. I will add a link to it in the description. It's really cute. It gives a lot of quotes from some of the people they interviewed, some of which I recognized from Instagram and TikTok. And there's just really cute couples pictures in there, which I'm living for that always. So check it out in the description. And thank you so much again to Hinge for sponsoring this video. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I post videos like this every week along with vlogs and video essays. So follow along. And if you do, I will see you next week. So bye.